Hi guys, these are some selected problems from the review assignment on page 534. Will you get that, Kale?
Yeah, 1 second. My hand is not wet right now.
Okay, I'm filming though, okay, bub? Alright, so this is review assignment from page 534. And so these first few problems were Pythagorean Theorem questions. So I'm going to write down the Pythagorean Theorem. And I'm plugging in these values for A, B, and C. Remember, in the Pythagorean Theorem, the most important thing is which side is C. C is across from the right angle. The other two, A and B, don't matter because we're going to add them together. 14 squared plus 16 squared equals x squared. I plugged in 14 and 16 for A and B and x for C. Then you can do this part in a calculator. 14 squared plus 16 squared. And you get this, 452 equals x squared. That's not the answer, that's x squared. So to get x by itself, you have to square root, and the answer is x equals the square root of 452. But you cannot leave it like that, and they don't want it as a radical, or as a decimal, I mean, because if you type that in, you get this ugly decimal. So that's not the answer what they want. They want it a broken down radical. So we take the 452 over here, and you do that whole breakdown thing and look for twins. Now, since that's a 2, it's even. I know 2 goes in there. So do 452 divided by 2, and you get 226. And that's even again, so 2 goes in there again. And you get 113. And I think 113 may be prime. So I know 2 doesn't go in there because it's not even. 3 doesn't go in there. The next prime is 5. 5 doesn't go in there. 7 doesn't go in there. The next one's 11. And that's as far as you have to try. Because as soon as you get to the square root of that number, which is, between 10 and 11, you can stop trying numbers. Nothing else goes in there, which means 113 is prime. So here's what happens. There's twin 2's, so a 2 comes out. The 113 stays in. So this answer is 2 radical 113. That's how you write that answer, 2 radical 113. So it's not the ugly decimal number, and it's not 452. It's square root of 452 broken down to give you 2 radical 113. All right, number 8. Still a Pythagorean. If you see A, B, and C, that's Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This time, the right angle is pointing to this. This is c. So this is a and b. X squared plus 9 squared equals 18 squared. I just noticed something, and you may have noticed it too. If you happen to notice that doubling 9 would give you 18, doubling this side would give you this, that means that we've got an a and a 2a. So even though they didn't tell us it's 1, this is a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. You can tell from these two numbers. So I know that this is going to be 9 radical 3. But if you didn't notice that, I'm not sure I would have noticed that because I just now did, then this is what you would do like on a test or something. This is what the intention of the problem anyway, is to do it with Pythagorean theorem because they did not give you those angles. This is 324. So I squared the 9. I squared the 18. Then I'm going to subtract 81. Subtract 81. You get 243. X squared is 243. That's not the answer. That's x squared. So you have to square root. Square root. X is the square root of 243. And again, they are not going to want this ugly decimal answer. I tried in the calculator just to see if it's going to be pretty. Because if it's a pretty answer, you stop. You don't have to do the breakdown thing. But since it's this ugly decimal, I have to break this guy down. So breaking down, 243 is odd. So 2 doesn't go in there. 2 only goes into even numbers. So I'm going to try 3. 3 goes into 243. It goes in there 81 times. And, oops, that's an 81. And 3 goes into 81 27 times. and 3 goes into 27 9 times, and then 3 goes into 9 3 times. So broken down, you have all these 3's, and then we're looking for twins. These twin 3's bring out a 3. These twin 3's bring out a 3. So there's a 3 times 3, that's a 9. And this 3 gets stuck in there. So the answer is 9 radical 3. Number 12. Since this is a 60-degree angle, we're using special right triangles. So if that's 60 and that's 90, this must be a 30-degree angle. And these are the problems that we put the template on there. And the 45, 45, 90s were A, and A radical 2. 30, 60, 90s like this one are A twice A and A radical 3. So across from the 30, this is going to be A. Across from the 60, this is A radical 3. Across from the 90, this is twice A. And this is the side we were given. We were given twice A is 14. So if twice A is 14, that means just plain old A is 7. So that's what this is. So this is X. X is 7. And then this is that same A number, which is 7, with a radical 3 with it. So this side is 7 radical 3. Y is 7 radical 3. Okay, number 16. Since that is not a 30 or a 60 or a 45, this is a trig problem. So we have to decide which kind of trig problem it is. In relation to that angle, that's why I circled it, I have the side across from it. This is opposite. I have the side right next to it. This is adjacent. So this is a tangent question. Opposite and adjacent is a tangent question. So if you don't know these yet, these definitions, you need to know what sine is and what cosine is and what tangent is, or you need to have it close to you, kind of handy. Okay, opposite and adjacent, this is tangent. So tangent of the angle always comes next, equals opposite over adjacent. So the only time I don't put the 1 over here and cross multiply is if the x is right there. So since I know that number, I can cross multiply here, and x times tangent of 36, you can't actually do that, so you just write x times tangent of 36. This you can do, 1 times 12 is 12. And then to get the x by itself, we're going to get rid of multiplying by tangent 36, divide by tangent 36, and you get x is approximately whatever your calculator tells you this is. 12 divide by tangent 36. 12 divide by tangent 36. You get 16.5. 16.5. And it did not tell me what it was measured in, or at least I didn't write it down, so I'm just going to leave it 16.5. If this was measured in feet, you would put feet. All right, last one. Or last one that I chose anyway. 45 feet of string is on a kite, and the kite's tied to the ground. It says, I think it says Linda, I think if I remember right, that is flying a kite. So here's our kite, 45 feet of string tied to the ground. And then it says it's making an angle of elevation of 58 degrees. So remember, angles of elevation are made with a horizontal, so are angles of depression. So we have to have this angle of elevation right here, 58 degrees. And they want to know how high the kite is. So don't forget to put your x on that unknown value. How high is the kite? That's x. All right, so once you get it all drawn, this is a trig problem. So here's our angle of reference. We have a label across from the angle. This is opposite. We have a label across from the right angle. This is hypotenuse. Opposite and hypotenuse. If you look at these, opposite and hypotenuse is a sine. So sine of 58 degrees is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. And then you cross multiply to solve this thing. 1 times x is x. And then 45 times sine of 58. You put the normal number first, 45 times sine of 58. You get 38.2. 38.2 feet in the air. That's how high that kite is. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys why you put the normal number first. Why you put 45 times sine of 58. See, if you put sine of 58 first, sometimes people forget to close the parenthesis, and then they'll do times 45, and your calculator is going to multiply 58 times 45 and try to find the sine of that. Ooh, weird. So this will work if you were to close the parenthesis and then do times 45 like that. Then you get the same answer that I got. But if you don't close that, then it'll give you the wrong answer. So the best thing to do is just put the 45 first times sine of 58. That's why we do that. So that is all of the selected problems from the review. So the next thing you're going to have is a Chapter 8 test. The Chapter 8 test is going to have Pythagorean Theorem like these problems, a squared, b squared, c squared. It's going to have special right triangles with the a's and the 2a's and the a radical 3's. And don't forget the 45, 45, 90's have a, and a radical 2. And then it's going to have trigonometry with some angle of elevation or depression word problems. And those are the only 3 topics that are on the Chapter 8 test. That stuff will be given to you. The a squared, b squared, c squared, the templates, the trig rules, the trig equations, that will be given to you. So you don't have to memorize those. Okay, I hope this helps. And so y'all have a great day. And there's my dog. Hey, Ollie. Hey, Ollie. Ollie. All right, he did not want to say hi. All right, bye, y'all. Have a great day.